Twilight Jewish edition, third night. This is Twilight Jewish Twilight Revolutions, isn't it?
Yes. Twilight Revolutions.
You're an idiot.
Edward wanted to go out tonight.
Revenge of the Shabbat. I don't.
We had both spent the entire day at our respective homes reading in our pyjamas. I had figured out a few things during my day of being a bum. First, I was getting laid this vacation if it were the last thing I did. Second, because I was a broke-ass college student...
He goes to ass college?
I know, right?
So cool!
My gift to Edward would be popping both of our cherries. And third, despite that he liked watching Fox News, I sort of actually like this guy. Sort of. Kind of.
Maybe.
Okay.
Sort of like him. I mean, you know, we're going to lose opportunities together, but you know, just kind of,
yeah.
maybe. What else?
After I'd showered and put on real clothes, as opposed to, you know, that nice stuff that she bought from that emperor.
Idiot.
He picked me up in his shiny Volvo TM, available at your local dealership now.
An idiot.
The parents insisted we stay and light the Hanukkah candles with them before heading to Port Angeles for dinner. Port Angeles, now on 5th and 6th. Is that how new American streets work?
No, Port Angeles is a town, bro.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you should read Twilight.
Once in the car, Edward took off his leather jacket and slung it into the back seat. He was wearing a tight t-shirt. I looked down at his physique.
Why not?
He had been working out at school. Not that I ever checked him out in high school, but he was definitely more toned. My eyes glanced down at his forearms. The right was ever so slightly bigger than the left. I wondered how many times a day he jacked off.
I don't... Why? What does that add to the story? That adds nothing.
Have you been working out? I asked, putting my seatbelt on.
A little.
He admitted. The drive was long, and I placed my hand over the middle console onto Edward's thigh. In reckless driving there.
Really, it's terrible.
He dressed right. Of course he did. He watches Fox News.
Ah.
So I could feel his cock through his jeans once again. Yep, going into public spaces, definitely a good idea there. I could feel it growing bigger and harder with every light caress. I don't think this person's ever really felt a penis.
It doesn't matter. They're vampires. Whatevs. Actually, the vampire thing hasn't been mentioned yet.
No. And you know, considering that he still lives with his parents.
But he lived with his parents in the book, and he was 17. You still live with your parents. You're 21.
I can remember actually my
Waifu.
My
Penis.
billing address is actually my address in Hull.
Damn. Actually, says mine. My point is, don't give him flack for that, but what happened to the vampire bit? That was probably the only decent part of this.
Really?
Well, better than the other bits.
Fair. Edward didn't say anything. Instead, he kept his eyes on the road. At a stoplight, I moved my hand stealthily, and undid the button and moved down the zip. Thankfully, it was a long night, and I stuck my fingers down and pulled out Edward's strapping large, circumcised cock out.
That's 2 outs. Pull out Edward's strapping large circumcised cock out.
I think it's a bit too late to start giving a shit for grammar.
No, it's never too late. Strapping large circumcised cock out. What's the name of our band briefly?
And that was the name of our 42nd EP.
Yeah, it's a good one, that one. It's just the sound of me calling you an idiot for half an hour.
Then 10 minutes of silence.
Then I had sex with your mother.
And then choked on a Vietnamese woman's penis.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. Crew necks never have seen a turtleneck.
The penis joke, honey.
Right. Edward looked over at me, about to say something, but nothing intelligible came out. It sounded more like, "Gah!"
Please, I'm doing it. Sounded more like, "Gah!"
Shh, just drive.
Drive. Alright, blimey, mate.
Just drive, I soothed. As I took my hand over his bare cock and began to slowly pump my hand up and down. I'd done this enough to know that sooner rather than later he would be exploding all over himself and my hand.
Oh, this is so bad.
You know, because that's just what you need when you're going out for dinner.
Or driving!
I looked around with my right hand as my left hand pumped. Oh yeah, American.
Yes. Yes, that's... Oh, yes, I've got this description on the other side.
Wait, looked around with my right hand. Is she blind, or...?
No, she's that monster from Pan's Labyrinth with the hands at its eyes. No, hands at its eyes? Eyes at its hands. Hands at its eyes.
Man, hand job's got to be really weird for that.
You got a really good view. Probably hurt. You probably want to wear, like, goggles. Monocles. Hand monocles for hand jobs.
How did Helen Keller break her arm?
Fell over.
She tried to read a stop sign.
You're an idiot. Really are an idiot. You're just an unpleasant person.
Yeah, you love me.
I really do.
Until I found a small package of tissues in the glove compartment. I tossed it onto my lap for safekeeping, not the only thing she tossed. You're going to have a red mark on the side of your face.
You're an idiot. I can slap you if you prefer.
Driving through the winding roads, with each turn I pumped a little harder. I decided to tease Edward a little, you know, adding to the distraction of the driver.
On winding roads as well?
Yes.
If it's still on a long straight road, then maybe, but no.
As America we're talking about, you know, a winding road is probably, there's a slight curve that goes 3 degrees and 2 kilometres.
Yes.
His brain could only handle so much, and right now, between driving and my hand on him, he was stretched pretty thin, even for a Harvard man. Edward, don't you think homosexuals should have the right to marry? Sorry, Edward, don't you think homosexuals should have the right to marry? He responded with a I'll take that as a yes. Don't you think there should be universal health care? Same response. I wish I had a tape recorder. Shouldn't the US adopt cap and trade policies? That warranted the same response. Oh
Bella, I know what you're doing.
Oh my god, it's actually a pretty good idea to do a really right-wing person.
What, toss them off?
And then get them to admit that all their political policies are wrong.
Yeah.
Could be fun.
Right, do you wanna toss off Boris Johnson, or shall I?
Yes.
Lovely.
I licked my fingers and stuck them back onto his cock, letting the moisture from my mouth get him off a little bit more.
I don't think that.
No.
No. Ollie, you've had sex, right?
Yeah, at least 3 times.
And how many with other people?
Like 2.
Nice. So that's not a thing.
No.
No.
I suppose if you're not... Wait. Are you counting, you know, when you sit on your arm so you don't feel anything?
That counts with you.
Okay, just 1 then.
No.
Kind of half. Leaning over, I took both hands and wove them together and pumped him. I could feel his cock jerk, and I knew I was about to climax. Pumping with one hand and grabbing tissues with the other, I watched as he erupted. It was just in time. The Christmas lights decorating Port Angeles illuminated the car, and now the semen stains on his trousers.
And all over the leather interior. Fuck, Bella, I almost crashed the car several times for you doing that.
He screamed at me. I shrunk back into my seat.
Do you think you could do it again on the way home?
He smiled. Maybe, I answered, leaning in close to him. After pulling into a parking spot, Edward zipped his now tired, limp dick back into his jeans.
Bella, by the way, your questions, yes. But the state should decide. No to universal health care. I prefer tort reform, and I think a carbon tax would be more effective than cap and trade. Oh, and since I know you're dying to ask, I am pro-choice, just not late-term abortions. I am much more libertarian than far-right-winger. What did that add? That added fuck all. Anyway.
It's because now we need to know that, you know, he's not a total dickbag.
He kind of sounds like a total dickbag to me. He just said no to homosexual
he said
marriages.
He said,
oh, yes, let's say no to universal health care.
Which, you know, that is a bit of a dickbag thing.
Yes.
And don't really know tort reform.
I don't know. Tort law's fine. Anyway, head down.
I just want to see the questions again. Okay.
Tort's to do with, like, it's from the French avoir tort, to be wrong. It's
okay.
like in terms of it's a whole big right-wing deal with healthcare and blame. And basically, they think it's not their fault.
Okay, when it blatantly is.
Yeah.
See? You learn things on these.
Well, you learn nothing.